Feedback Learnex. English forever.
Essa bola vai rolar, mundo é tapete verde. Quando a bola chega lá, coração fica na.
Hello everyone, welcome to this week's edition of Feedback Learnex. We're here at Partners and Brothers, a restaurant located in Plaza Arcos Bosques. And I'm here, Marilyn Dela Cruz, with Miss Paulina.
Hello everyone, I'm super excited of being here.
So today we're going to talk about something that's extremely interesting. What is it that gets you pumped up for a sporting event? So I know for a fact that in FIFA and the World Cup, what centers around it, what gets the energy and the blood pumping is music. And that's what we're going to talk about today. The anthems that center around the World Cup. All the songs, all the topics, why they became popular, and everything that has to do with them.
But there weren't always official songs. Actually, the first official song was for the World Cup in Chile in the 60s.
Okay.
This occasion, we are going to go through all the amazing and iconic songs for the World Cups, from Shakira's Waka Waka in 2010 to the songs for Italia 1990.
Okay, very cool. Well, stay tuned, guys, and we'll be right back with all of those amazing anthems that drove us all the way through the World Cups. The very first ever anthem that was assigned to a World Cup was in 1962, El Rock del Mundial. This song was a mixture of Spanish rock, 60s rock, a little bit of bebop music, jazz, and it was extremely interesting because this song was the one that kicked off the idea of anthems and representation in music for a World Cup. It was in 1962 in Chile, and it was interesting also because this song didn't encompass what we now know a World Cup song, that it only assigns to all the teams that are playing, to the world, kind of a collective feeling. It actually only sung about Chile and the pride that the Chileans have in their team. So that was something that kicked it off and set a precedent for the World Cup anthems. The next song was Marcha Mundial in 1972 in Argentina. This song was created, but it was also distinct because it didn't have any words, it didn't have lyrics. It was just the tones and the musicality of things that you could find, or music and sounds that you could find specifically in Argentina. The next World Cup anthem was the marker and precedent for all the World Cups thereafter and their anthems. In 1982 in Spain, Plácido Domingo set the world on fire with his song that was essentially a global hit, but encompassed every single country and every single idea that people and teams and coaches were feeling in that moment for the World Cup. So what do you have for us, Miss Paulina?
In 1986, the World Cup came back to Mexico after 16 years. In this World Cup, we had our very first World Cup song. It was El Mundo Unido por un Balón. It was interpreted by Juan Carlos Zavara, and it was one of the first songs that had in the lyrics this feeling of global communication and exchange. Un'estate italiana, or an Italian summer, was the song composed for the World Cup in Italy in 1990. This is considered one of the most beautiful songs, and it's actually one of the few songs that have been used out of the World Cup in other matches, for other sports and so on. This song was the first song that hit the first position in the world charts. For the World Cup in the United States in 1994, the official song was Gloryland. This song was interpreted by Sons of Darkness, and it was mostly instrumental, and it was very United States patriotic, not as global as the previous ones. We're in Feedback Learnex, we're talking about music and the World Cup. Stay tuned.
5001-9642 Feedback Learnex.
Psst, psst, ¿qué es Learnex?
Workouts,
interbranches.
Massive activities. Learning tours.
Learnex.
Special activities.
Descubre,
Vive.
siente el inglés en Learnex. Aprende inglés en Learnex. Inglés para siempre.
5001-9642. Feedback Learning.
It is 2018, and there is no better time to remember more than 20 years ago, or exactly 20 years ago, in 1998 at the World Cup in France, where Ricky Martin blew the scene and played the Cup of Life. The Cup of Life became a world sensation. It was something that focused mainly on the emotions, the feelings that the players would be feeling as they walked out on that field. And not only was it an amazing song, but it blew the charts thereafter and has made it very difficult for any song to compare in anthems for the World Cup. Then in 2002 was the song Anthem, and it was sang for the Japan World Cup. Now this World Cup was a little bit different because after Ricky Martin's crazy, amazing 4-year run of this song, and now to this day it still pertains, in 2002 a lot of artists threw out songs, and there were over 7 recognized anthems for this World Cup. The one we're going to look at is the anthem. The anthem was kind of a teen pop type of song, didn't have very much lyrics, and it was very repetitive. Then in 2006, Tony Braxton and El Divo, which is an international quartet, released a song called The Time of Our Lives. Now this song is a song that makes you feel emotions, but is not as fast-paced as maybe more recent ones or earlier songs have been. But it was still a world-renowned song, and it topped a lot of charts as well.
Of heartbreaks that brought us here today.
Then, in 2010, we have Waka Waka by Shakira. This was a very controversial song because the World Cup took place in South Africa, and Shakira is Colombian. This was the first ever song that was composed by someone that wasn't from the country where the World Cup was taking place. But she used a lot of idioms and phrases with the native language. This song was very important because was one of the ones that got closer to the position in which Ricky Martin's La Copa de la Vida got. Then, for Brazil in 2014, we had We Are One. This was a very important song because in this World Cup, some countries didn't feel so included or so welcomed, and this song included idioms and phrases from all the countries that were invited to the World Cup with all different languages. This song was also very popular because it was sung by singers that were very popular in the moment, such as Pitbull and Jennifer Lopez.
And now we're almost at the end of our show, but we cannot leave without talking about the obvious, Russia 2018 World Cup. This year's anthem for the 2018 World Cup is Colors. This song was originally sung by Jason Derulo. He's an American singer-songwriter. But the interesting part, Miss Paulina and everyone watching, is that now there's a remix with Maluma. So originally the song was very low-key, kind of slow, didn't really pick up. And now they added Maluma to it. What do you think about this song?
I think it's great that they added these Latin rhythms to it.
Okay.
I think it's going to be very, very popular.
I can't agree more. I think that the Latin beats and the flavor that is added to this song is now something that's going to be more inclusive, which is something that we talked about in the other segments for songs that were of the anthem. Well, that's all the time we have today. It's been great learning about songs, about the anthems and music. Please do not forget to follow us on our Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of our social media. You can find it here on the bottom, as well as every Thursday night at 9:15. This is your show. Like, comment. Miss Paulina, have you had fun?
A lot of fun.
Well, don't forget, watch us next week, Feedback Learnex.
Oh, can't you taste the feeling? Saying, oh, we all together singing. Ven, vamos a bailar, la, 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 la. Aunque tú y yo no seamos del mismo lugar, el camino fue largo y para celebrar el look, ven.
Feedback Learnex, English Forever. Estamos en sintonía. Feedback Learnex, English Forever. Feedback Learnex.